Hello and what is up, guys? My name is Yugioh from SCREENCASTERS. I'm going to be discussing with you guys the importance of hand traps in Yu-Gi-Oh! And why you should use them, why you shouldn't use them in certain decks. So I got basically 6 of the most famous hand traps here. I got Gores, Tragodia, Valor, Maxx, Lancia, and Flying Sea. Now I separate them into 3 categories actually, and we'll be talking into them in detail. So right now we're going to go over the most famous 2, which is Effect Valor and Maxx, and why you should use them, why you shouldn't use them, how to use them, and how important they really are to you and your deck and what you want to do. Alright, so the first one I'm going to talk about is Effect Valor. On monster face activated, discard it, target a monster, its effects negated to the end phase, which is really great. And what does Maxx do? Basically, after this resolves, every time your opponent special summons, immediately draw a card. Alright, so why do you run these? Well, Maxx has multiple purposes. One, to help you get those draws and get you out of those bad hands. Like if you have a very clunky hand, if your opponent goes into the Maxx challenge, if your opponent plays into a Maxx and just does a lot of plays, but doesn't OTK you, especially going first, you basically got a much better hand and much more draw power because of it. It's also a very good card because if your opponent does take the Maxx challenge, if you do draw into one of your later cards, you'll be doing pretty well. It's basically, these 2 are essentially here to go second. If you go first with either of these, it's not very good. It's very suboptimal to go first with these. So, and the best part about these can work in the main deck or side deck. So you can do either or with these. That's the real versatility of these cards. The best part is when you resolve them, they're not really negated. I cannot honestly say any time I've ever seen an Effect Valor be negated. I can't remember Maxx ever being like Divine Wrath or something like that. You'll hardly ever see Effect Valor not work for you, unless the deck itself can't be targeted, like Magic Specters or Cosmos. There was several formats where this card wasn't very good at all, and that's because the main 2 decks of that format was Cosmos and Magic Specters that time, because the big ships can't be targeted, and all the Magic Specters can't be targeted at all. So, there's certain formats where these guys could be mained or side decked. Honestly, I feel these 2 are much better in the side. If you do main them, you're basically playing an OTK deck because you want to go second. Every hand trap you have, any hand trap in the game right now, basically, you want to go second with it because hand traps are exactly what they're named for. They're traps that work in hand, but they're a bit faster. They're very reactive, so choose wisely which ones you run. Valor is there to stop those. Stop your opponent from going off. It depends on how effective it is against Maxx. You can argue you want to draw the Effect Valor off the Maxx. So, maybe you can try running both of these. That works very well too. More people are more inclined to main deck the Maxx than the Valor, which is personal preference. I'm kind of iffy on it either way. I'm more so towards Maxx myself, but Valor has helped me in many situations. So that's the 2 more famous ones out of the way. 2 of the more famous side deck ones. We're going to one Flying Sea and Lancia. Flying Sea is very good against the right deck. However, not every deck does an XYZ summon. Flying Sea is basically opponent summons a monster. Basically, you can activate this, put it on their side of the field, essentially in defense mode, and they can't XYZ summon. And it can't be used for XYZ summon, basically, that's another thing. But the problem with Flying Sea as opposed to Maxx is that every deck is going to special summon. Even Bujins, they go into Susanoo, Evil Sword is going to Ophiel. When they add 2 level 4s, activate, the Maxx, or when they summon the caster due to Flying Sea or something like that. I don't know. Not every deck does an XYZ summon, so that's why it varies. That's why Flying Sea is more so of a side deck card than a main deck card. And the same can be argued with Lancia. Not every deck does banishing. Not every deck tries to abuse the banishing mechanic like Cosmos, Chaos Dragons, Cyframe, stuff like that. These are much better side deck cards because the decks that are good against, they just cripple them so much. I mean, having a whole turn in Cosmos where you can't banish your big ships, like if you do Lancia and your big ships die that turn, do they float? No, because they can't banish. It's a very good card. The problem is that these cards are very good against the decks they are against, but if you go into any deck that doesn't use it, for example, if you're going against Synchrons and you do Flying Sea, do you really think this Flying Sea is going to stop them? No, because they're going to use them as a synchro material, which is kind of one of the get-arounds of Flying Sea. So, these cards are very good, but definitely not main deck worthy. These are the ones I'm kind of more biased towards because these are the guys you kind of want to draw into with your hand traps. If your opponent is taking the quote-unquote Maxx challenge, where they're special summoning basically everything, and if they can attack to try and OTK you with their board so you can't use all the stuff you draw with, these are the cards you kind of want to see most. You want to see these guys more than the Veiler. And I know you could argue it's very situational sometimes on which one you want to see more. It's just, honestly, I'd rather stop them from OTKing me with a big monster. Like, if I have 20 cards in hand, I drop a Yugioh. They could be doing shit during the battle phase. You know, unless they run out of Meteor Burst, which is unfortunate. Basically, if you're gonna get OTK'd and they take the Maxx challenge, these are the guys you want to see. And the best part about these guys, they can work either going first or second. You prefer seeing them going second, but if you if you summon a Curry Bandit and he leaves you wide open, and you get that very important Soul Charge or something like that, having Gores in hand is going to be very important. Let's say you're running a very XYZ deck, and you run a level 4s, and you want some protection. You run basically 2 Maxx's and 2 Yugiohs, and then when you drop this thing, you could discard a 4 and take your opponent's level 4, or you can target level 4 in your graveyard because all your monsters are level 4 in a level 4 spam deck. He'll become level 4, so there's versatility in that. These are the guys you basically want to draw into with your hand traps. They don't work in the side at all, but if you do choose to main them, they will help you. But it's good to main one of these and one of your main deckable hand traps if you choose to go that route. But yeah, basically what you want to use hand traps for is for going second. You can choose to main them if you want to. You can choose to side them. Most people prefer to side them. But very choose carefully because the side deck is very limited because with all the decks running around. But yeah, typically if you want to run a hand trap, you want to go second. Choose your matchups wisely. Some of them aren't going to be as good as most matchups. Like if your main deck can affect Veiler and you go against Cosmos, it's not going to be too popular. It's not going to be too optimal. So, you know, it is situational. Don't let just one bad matchup get you down. Maybe main decking this in your deck is very good. And it depends on the player preference. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this little insight into hand traps and their uses, and how to properly use some of them, more popular ones. Comment down below what you think of this. If I missed anything, please comment down below. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. See you guys!